welcome to World News. I am Wisdom Onisi. First, the headlines. Nigerian presidency says Tinubu Shetima's absence won't create leadership vacuum. North Korea says 1.4 billion apply to join army amid tensions with South. Biden approves 4.5 billion US dollars in student debt relief as vote nears. And on sport, England named Tuchel new manager. Now the news in details. The presidency has said the absence of President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima will not create any leadership vacuum in the country. Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, in a statement on Wednesday, said physical presence was not necessary to perform their duties. Onanuga also insisted that the institution, a testament to adaptability in the virtual age, does not explicitly require the physical presence of either the president or the vice president in the country at all times to fulfill his duties. Onanuga, who said the clarification became necessary following inquiries from reporters. The National Emergency Management Agency has deployed its emergency response team to Kogi State following the flooding of several communities in the state. This move aims to help proactively measure the flood situation across the country, according to a statement by the agency on Wednesday. The statement noted that the team comprises staff specialized in search and rescue operation who will provide technical support to the Kogi State Emergency Management Agency and other stakeholders conducting rescue and evacuation operation, as well as assessment in the affected communities. The Director General of NEMAL, Zubadal Omar, said the agency has also deployed mobile water purification equipment to help provide emergency clean water for the affected families. Still on the local news, we have that the Edo State Governor-elect Monday Bobelo on Wednesday called on banks to halt the granting of loans to the state government during the transition period. He also raised concern over the alleged looting of government funds and properties by officials of the Governor Godwin Obaseki-led administration. In a statement released by his special assistant on media, Goswill Onekwasola, Obebelo called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and Department of State Services to investigate the matter. Now, when we return, news from other parts of Africa. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. Prime Minister Gary Conil made an urgent appeal to Kenyan President William Ruto, requesting the immediate deployment of 600 additional police officers. Conil emphasized the need to reinforce support during his trip to the United Arab Emirates and Kenya, where he discussed the challenges facing by the Haitian National Police in dealing with powerful gangs. This request for additional officers comes in light of the 400 Kenyan officers already committed to UN-backed multinational security mission aimed at stabilizing Haiti. The mission, which started earlier this year, has been a critical part of Haiti's efforts to restore law and order in areas dominated by criminal organizations. The United States has issued a travel advisory urging citizens to reconsider trips to Rwanda due to an outbreak of the deadly Marburg virus. This warning comes after the East African nation reported 12 fatalities, primarily among health workers, since it has initiated a vaccination campaign utilizing 700 trial vaccines. Now we move to other parts of the world after this break. Stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Welcome back. Now news from other parts of the world. Japan's ruling party may lose its majority in the lower house, according to media polling ahead of the October 27th election, meaning it would likely have to rely on coalition partner Komeito to stay in power. The Liberal Democratic Party may not reach the 233 seats it needs to an outright majority in the 465-seat chamber. The LDP has had sole control of the chamber since it returned to power in 2012 after 3 years in opposition. In a separate poll, support for Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's cabinet came to 28%, marking the lowest for the new government dating back to 2000. The survey was concluded October 11 to 14th and published on Thursday. Away from that, North Korea said on Wednesday around 1.4 million young people had applied to join or return to the army this week, blaming Seoul for provocative drone incursion that had brought the tense situation to the brink of war. The fiery rhetoric comes after North Korea last week accused Seoul of sending drones over Pyongyang that scattered a huge number of anti-North leaflets. The North then blew up inter-Korean roads and rail lines on each side of the border on Tuesday and warned that the South would pay a dear price. The young people, including students and youth, league officials who had signed petitions to join the army, were determined to fight in a secret war of destroying the enemy with the arms of the revolution, according to reliable sources. We have you know that the government in Beijing said on Wednesday China will never commit to renouncing the use of force over Taiwan after another bout of war games and a visit by Chinese President Xi Jinping to the scene of famous defeat for Taiwanese forces. China, which views democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory, staged a day of large-scale drills around the island on Monday that is said were a winning to last week's National Day speech by Taiwan President Lai Ching-te. That is, however, aimed at the interference of external forces and the very small number of Taiwan separatists, not the vast majority of Taiwan's people, Chen said. Taiwan has close, though unofficial, relations with the United States, a major arms supplier, and its allies. Up next is business. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now to business news. Japan's export fell for the first time in 10 months in September, data showed on Thursday, a worry for policymakers as many prolonged weakness in global demand may complicate the central bank's path to exit years of ultra-easy monetary policy. Soft demand in China and slowing U.S. growth weighed on export, while the yen recent rebound, in part due to the Bank of Japan's unexpected rate hike in late July, helped further push down their value. It is possible that exports will continue to struggle in coming months in light of uncertainties, particularly in the Chinese economy. Kazuma Kishikawa, economist at Dawa Institute of Research, said, China's domestic demand appears to be weaker than expected, with the country's stimulus package slow to make an impact, he added. Total export in September dropped 1.7% from a year earlier. Ministry of Finance data showed, missing a median market forecast for a 0.5% increase and following a revised 5.5 rise in August. Still on business news, the euro was pinned at an 11th-week low on Thursday ahead of an expected rate cut by ECB, while European shares inched up. Balance gains on Wall Street with declines in Asia, where a housing policy briefing in China underwhelmed. The European Central Bank is expected to make its first back-to-back rate cut in 13 years, and with market pricing another cut in December. The tone and guidance in the press conference will be closely watched. Weak Purchasing Manager Index survey data for September was a major contributor in markets, adding to bet on a rate cut at this meeting, seen as unlikely a month ago. Those shifting expectations have been one factor in the recent decline in the euro, which was last down 0.1% at least at 1.851, its lowest since August 2nd. Germany's 10 years bond yield, the Eurozone benchmark, was 3 basis points higher at 2.21%, but hit a 2-week low the previous day. Still to come is sport. Stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Welcome back now to Sport News. Gateway United have terminated the appointment of their head coach Samson Ominipolel. Ominipolel's disengagement was confirmed by the management of the club. The Abeokuta club said the termination of the Gaffer's contract takes immediate effect. Gateway United are currently in search of a new tactician before the commencement of the 2024-2025 Nigerian National League season. They are in the Southern Conference Group A for the new season. The new campaign will commence on Saturday, November 30. Still on sport news, where we have you know that Thomas Tuchel was named England's new manager on Wednesday, with the German set to start the January 1st, 2025. The 51-year-old, who was been out of work since leaving Bayern Munich at the end of last season, succeeds Englishman Gareth Southgate as permanent coach and becomes the third foreign manager of the Three Lions after serving Joran Eriksson and Fabio Capello, I beg your pardon. A former coach of Chelsea, Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich, Tuchel has the trophy-winning pedigree that the FA is seeking to help end the 58-year wait to win a major tournament. However, the move has drawn criticism over the FA's unwillingness to trust an Englishman with its top job. Tuchel will be assisted by English coach Anthony Barry, who worked alongside him at Bayern Munich. Still on sport news, let's take you to cricket, where we have you know that India were bowled out for 46 by New Zealand on day 2 of the first test in Bengaluru. As the entire first day was washed out by rain, India chose to bat on a lively seeming pitch and were dismissed for the third lowest total in their test history. It was India's lowest total in a home test, only beaten by their 36 all-out against Australia in Adelaide in 2020 and 42 against England at Lord's in 1974. And that's your sport news at World News. We move to the rest of the news after this break.
This is Hillstv. Quality Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this oh, our oh, anyabela, oh, unekena oh. Now we be this oh, oh, this is Hillstv. Now we be this oh, our oh, anyabela, oh, unekena oh. Now we be this oh, oh, this is Hillstv.
Hillstv, Poker.
Welcome back. Now, the rest of the news. U.S. President Joe Biden announced Thursday further student debt relief for public servants amounting to around $4.5 billion with just over 2 weeks to go until the presidential election. The action affects about 60,000 borrowers across the country, said the White House, taunting Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris' efforts to improve loan forgiveness since taking office. The announcement comes as households feel the weight of higher cost of living since the COVID-19 pandemic, with voters citing the economy as a crucial concern in polls. Biden said in a statement that with the latest move, more than 1 million people have had their debt cancelled under public service loan forgiveness. And that what news. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. We told you that Nigerian presidency says Tinubu Shetima's absence won't create leadership vacuum. We also informed you that North Korea says 1.4 million apply to join army amidst tensions with South. We brought to you that Biden approves $4.5 billion in student debt relief as vote nears. And on sport, we informed you that England named Tuchel new manager. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Wisdom Onisi. Thanks for watching.